Mommy, why can I only see him? My 7-year-old daughter Clara asked me this at breakfast, and my coffee went cold in my hands. See who, Annie? The shadow man, the one who comes to my room every night. I forced a smile. Kids have imaginary friends. It's normal. Healthy, even. There's no man in your room, sweetheart. It's just dreams. He's not a dream. Clara pushed her cereal away. He stands by my bed and watches me. And last night, he said something new. My stomach tightened. What did he say? He said, "Soon I'll take you." The spoon fell from my hand, clattered against the bowl. Clara looked at me with those big brown eyes, my eyes, and I saw something that terrified me. She wasn't making this up. She believed it completely. I'm Sarah Morrison, single mom, marketing consultant, living in a quiet suburb of Portland with Clara. Her father left when she was 2, just walked out one day, never came back. It's been the 2 of us ever since. And it's been fine. Good, even. Clara's a bright, happy kid, does well in school, has friends, no behavioral issues. Until 2 weeks ago. That's when the drawings started. At first, I didn't think much of it. Kids draw. But Clara kept drawing the same picture, over and over, every day, sometimes twice a day. 4 figures. Me, tall woman with brown hair. Clara, small girl with pigtails. Our house, recognizable rectangle with triangle roof. And him, a figure made entirely of black scribbles. No face, no features, just darkness in human shape. The Shadow Man. In the first drawing, he stood far away from the house, maybe 50 feet in Clara's child perspective. In the second drawing, he was closer, maybe 30 feet. By the 5th drawing, he was at our front door. In the 10th drawing, he was inside the house. In today's drawing, number 14, the Shadow Man was standing beside Clara's bed. And in tomorrow's drawing? I didn't want to know. After breakfast, I took Clara to school and drove straight to her pediatrician. Dr. Ramon had been Clara's doctor since birth. She knew Clara, knew me, knew our family history. "Sarah, kids have vivid imaginations," she said, after I explained everything. "The drawings, the nighttime visitor, it's likely anxiety manifesting. Has anything stressful happened recently? Changes at school? New people in your life?" "Nothing. Everything's normal." "What about her father? Has Clara asked about him lately?" I thought about it. No, she hasn't mentioned him in months. Dr. Ramon made notes. Sometimes children create imaginary figures to process abandonment or fear. The Shadow Man could represent her absent father. The fact that he's getting closer in the drawings suggests Clara might be working through some feelings about— "He told her he's going to take her," I interrupted. "That's not processing feelings, that's a threat." "A threat from an imaginary friend? What if he's not imaginary?" Dr. Ramon looked up. "Sarah, are you asking if I think a supernatural entity is visiting your daughter?" "I'm asking if you think Clara is safe." "Physically, yes. Psychologically? I'd like to refer you to a child therapist who specializes in anxiety and night terrors. In the meantime, establish a calming bedtime routine. Nightlight, soft music, maybe stay in her room until she falls asleep." I thanked her and left. But I knew, the way mothers know. Something was wrong. Really wrong. That night, I did everything Dr. Ramon suggested. Bath, stories, nightlight, soft music. I sat beside Clara's bed until her breathing slowed and deepened. Then I tiptoed out, leaving the door cracked open, went to my room, set an alarm for 2:45 a.m. At 2:50 a.m., I crept to Clara's room and peered through the crack in the door. She was sleeping peacefully, nightlight casting a soft yellow glow, stuffed animals arranged around her pillow. Everything normal. I was about to go back to bed when Clara sat up. Not slowly, not groggily. She sat up rigid, eyes wide open, staring at the corner of her room. "I know," she said clearly. "Tomorrow night. I'll be ready." Then she lay back down and immediately resumed sleeping. I stood frozen in the hallway. Clara hadn't been talking to herself. She'd been answering someone. The next morning, Clara drew picture number 15. In this one, the shadow man wasn't beside her bed anymore. He was holding her hand, and they were walking out of the house together. "Clara?" I kept my voice steady. "What happens in this picture? Where are you going?" "He's taking me to meet the others," he says, coloring carefully inside the lines. "What others?" "The other kids. He says there are 5 of them. Soon there will be 6. My phone almost slipped from my hands. "Clara, has this man ever touched you, ever hurt you?" "No, Mommy. He doesn't have hands yet. That's why he's still Shadow. But tonight he said he'll be real enough. Then he can take me." I grabbed Clara, pulled her into my arms. "Nobody is taking you anywhere. Do you understand? Nobody." She hugged me back. "It's okay, Mommy. He says it won't hurt." I called in sick to work, kept Clara home from school. We spent the day together. Park, ice cream, movies, anything to keep us in public, in daylight, surrounded by people. But eventually, the sun set, and night came. I wasn't going to let Clara sleep in her room, not tonight, maybe not ever again. "We're having a sleepover," I told her, "in my room, on the big bed, just you and me." Clara looked worried. "Mommy, that won't work. He'll just come here instead." "There's no one coming, baby." "He goes where I go," Clara said quietly. "That's what he told me. I'm connected to him now. He can find me anywhere." Connected. That word sent ice through my veins. At 8 p.m., I tucked Clara into my bed, triple-checked the locks on every door and window, turned on every light in the house, set up my laptop on the dresser, facing the bed, recording. If something happened, I'd have proof. Clara fell asleep around 9 p.m., exhausted from our busy day. I sat in the chair beside the bed, watching her, watching the room, watching the shadows that flickered at the edges of the light. 10 p.m., nothing. 11 p.m., nothing. Midnight, nothing. Maybe Dr. Ramon was right. Maybe this was all anxiety and imagination, and 1 a.m. The temperature dropped. Not gradually, suddenly, like someone opened a freezer door. My breath misted in the air. Clara's eyes opened, but she didn't move, didn't sit up, just stared at the ceiling. "He's here," she whispered. I looked around frantically. "Where? Clara, where?" "Right there." She pointed at the corner of the room. I saw nothing, just shadows, normal lamp-cast shadows. "There's nothing there, honey." "But you can't see him yet, but I can. He's more real tonight, almost solid. He says by 3 a.m. he'll be real enough." Real enough for what? Clara turned her head to look at me, and her eyes were wrong, distant, like she was seeing through me instead of at me. Real enough to touch, real enough to take. The lamp beside my bed flickered, then went out. The hallway light went out. The kitchen light went out. One by one, every light in the house died until we sat in complete darkness. Except, in the corner Clara had pointed to, there was something darker than the darkness. A shape, human-sized, moving. Not walking, not exactly, more like coalescing, like smoke gathering into form. "Clara, get behind me, now!" But Clara sat up in bed, smiling. "It's okay, Mommy. He promised it won't hurt. He says where we're going is better. No sadness, no being alone. The other kids are happy there." "We're not going anywhere." I grabbed Clara, pulled her to me, backed toward the door. The shadow moved forward, and I heard it. A voice, deep, layered, like multiple voices speaking in unison. "She is mine. She invited me. Every night when she felt alone, when she missed her father, when she cried in the darkness, she called to me, and I answered. The connection is made. You cannot break it." "She's a child. She doesn't understand what she's doing." She understands loneliness. She understands abandonment. She understands the hole in her heart where her father should be, and I fill that hole. The shadow was taking shape now. I could see edges, boundaries, almost see features. "Clara," I whispered desperately, "listen to me. I know you miss your dad. I know you feel alone sometimes, but I'm here. I'm always here. You don't need him." I pointed at the shadow. "You don't need this." "But, Mommy," Clara's voice was small, sad. "You're sad too, all the time. I hear you crying at night. Maybe we should both go. Then neither of us would be sad anymore." Oh, God. She wasn't just inviting this thing for herself. She thought she was saving both of us. "Clara, listen to me very carefully. What you're feeling, the sadness, the loneliness, it's real, but running from it, letting this thing take you, that's not the answer. We fight through it, together, you and me. That's what family does." "But we're broken," Clara whispered. "Dad left. We're not a whole family." "We're not broken." I turned Clara to face me, made her look into my eyes. "We're different, but we're not broken, and we're not alone. We have each other. We have Grandma, Uncle James, your friends, your teachers, Dr. Ramon. We have people who love us, real people, not shadows." The shadow man moved closer. I could feel cold radiating from him, could smell something rotten. "Clara," the voices said, "come. The others are waiting. Let go of the pain. Let go of this world." Clara looked at me, then at the shadow, then back at me, and I saw the moment she decided. "No," she said quietly. The shadows stopped. "No," Clara said louder. "I don't want to go. I want to stay with my mom." "You invited me. The connection is made. You cannot send me away." "Yes, I can." Clara stood up on the bed, suddenly brave, suddenly so much older than 7. "I was sad and lonely, and I wanted someone to make it better. But my mom is right. Running away doesn't fix anything, and you're not trying to help me. You're trying to take me." "I am trying to save you." "No!" Claire pointed at the shadow. "You're trying to take me away from the person who actually loves me, from the person who would do anything to keep me safe. That's not saving. That's stealing." The shadow began to writhe, to lose cohesion. "You called me. You let me in. You cannot—" "I uninvite you," Clara shouted. "Go away. Go back to wherever you came from. I don't want you. I don't need you. Go away." The shadow screamed, not with voice exactly, but with something that bypassed ears and went straight to the tarot center of the brain. The room shook, the walls groaned, the windows rattled, and then light. Every bulb in the house flared back to life simultaneously. The shadow man disintegrated, broke apart like smoke in wind, scattered into nothing. Gone. Clara collapsed into my arms, sobbing. "Mommy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was so lonely and he seemed so nice and—" "Shh, baby. It's okay. It's over. You did the right thing. You sent him away." "Is he really gone?" I looked around the room, felt the temperature returning to normal, heard the normal sounds of house settling, refrigerator humming, traffic in the distance. "Yeah," I said. "He's really gone." We sat there for a long time, holding each other. Finally, Clara pulled back. "Mommy?" "Yeah, baby?" "Are you okay? You said you cry at night. I didn't know that." I wiped my eyes. I'm working on it. Sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes I'm lonely. But you know what? That's okay. Those feelings don't mean we're broken. They mean we're human. And we get through them. Together." "Together," Clara repeated. Then, "Can we see Dr. Ramon again? Maybe talk to someone about the sad feelings? Both of us?" I hugged her tighter. "Yeah, we can do that." The next morning, Clara drew a new picture. 2 figures, me and her, standing in front of our house. No shadow man. "He's really gone," she said, showing me the drawing. "I can't see him anymore. I can't feel him anymore." Good. "But, Mommy, there's something I need to tell you about the other kids, the ones he said were already with him." My stomach dropped. "What about them?" "He showed me, in dreams. 5 kids, 3 girls, 2 boys, all different ages. He said he took them over the years, from families like ours, families that were broken," she made air quotes. "But they weren't broken, they were just sad and lonely, and he used that." "Clara, do you remember what these kids looked like? Could you draw them?" She nodded. "I remember everything he showed me." I called Detective Morrison, no relation, at Portland PD, told her I had information about missing children. She came that afternoon. Clara drew 5 faces. Morrison's expression grew darker with each drawing. "These children," she said quietly, "we've been looking for them, some for years. 3 cases are still open. How does your daughter know about them?" I told her. Everything. The drawings, the shadow man, the nightly visits. Morrison didn't laugh, didn't dismiss it. She'd been a detective too long to reject anything that might lead to answers. "Can Clara tell us where they are? Where the shadow man took them?" Clara closed her eyes, concentrating. "Forest, east of here, near a river. There's an old house, abandoned. That's where he took them. That's where their bodies are." Morrison deployed search teams that evening. 3 days later, they found it. An abandoned house 40 miles east of Portland, near the Sandy River. In the basement, they found 5 children, exactly as Clara had described. 3 girls, 2 boys, ages 6 to 10, all reported missing over the past 8 years. All showing signs of prolonged captivity before death. The house was registered to a Marcus Webb, who had died in 2018, but evidence suggested someone had been using the property illegally, living there, bringing children there. They never found who. But they found equipment, sedatives, restraints, and journals. Dozens of journals describing collecting the lonely ones, filling the emptiness, building a family of the forgotten. Whoever Marcus Webb had been, whatever the shadow man was, ghost, demon, psychological manifestation of a predator, he'd been real enough to hurt children, real enough to kill them. And Clara had almost been number 6.